Hi, I'm Bart Kingona. I am the head of Pagbabago at Pilipinas Foundation, or in English, that's the Philippine Renewal Movement. We have been the organizers of an annual conference called MediaNation, whereby we gather together all the most influential gatekeepers of the mainstream media in order to talk about what we can do to strengthen news and media and information as a real pillar, as an institutional pillar of democracy. In the beginning, we did it because we felt that there was a tension between commerce and media ethics. But that evolved when there was a real and palpable danger to media practitioners in our country when they were actually being killed. For a while, the Philippines was called the most dangerous place for journalists in the world. But this once again evolved into something even more existential. By the time the last administration was elected into office, it was a populist, sort of rightist. I don't even know if you can call it that, but it's a government that had extreme ideas about authoritarianism and what the country needed, and therefore it deemed the media as its enemy. And so the conferences have now evolved into how to defend the media and how to keep it vital in a time when democracy is being threatened by disinformation, by populism, and by so many other vested interests. I think one of the biggest challenges is that the idea of the media and its importance in democracy is now getting harder and harder to defend, because basically even democracy itself is being questioned. So a lot of people would rather embrace false or fake news, as we call it, would rather embrace fake news because, well, they would rather listen to something that validates all their own biases. And they don't care if they have biases. Why? Because, the truth only serves democracy, and they're not interested in that. So it has become such a large challenge now to try to convince people that democracy, the flowering of the individual, the defense of the weakest of the society, is in the interest of the entire nation, not just the defense of strong men or authoritarian leaders or of the ruling classes. And so this is the challenge, and I think we're up to it, I hope. Thanks to FNF for being there to prop us and help us on the way. One thing we've realized is that we keep making assumptions about why the people, the populace, the country, or largely much of the country, elect authoritarian leaders, or seem to want to embrace authoritarianism, or seem to reject liberal democracy. We make assumptions, but that's us. We are the critical thinking, intellectual, middle class class. So what we decided to do is to break the barriers, if there are any, between our understanding of what aspirations we have for this country versus what their aspirations are for the country vis-a-vis their own experiences and needs. And when I talk about they, I am talking about those people who embrace fake news as something that does not worry them. As a matter of fact, they embrace it because it sort of validates their own prejudices and biases. So we want to try to bridge that gap so that hopefully we come to some kind of understanding on how we can together, us and them. And although I don't like to make that distinction, and I don't like to have that dichotomy of us and them, it really is that, unfortunately. But I would like to get to the point where we are all one in trying to work towards the same aspiration, which is a working, viable, and a prosperous liberal democracy.